Welcome back to Archie Spencer FX. So today we are going to be talking about Jerome Powell being replaced with Kevin Warsh. Now, most people would know about Jerome Powell. He's been in power. I say in power. He was the chair of the Fed since 2018, and he has now come to the end of his term, and Kevin Warsh is stepping into place. Now, most people would have heard about this, brushed it aside and completely forgotten about it because it doesn't really matter too much to the average person and they're not going to be able to benefit from it in any way, so it doesn't really affect their day-to-day life in any dramatic way. However, if you're a trader or you're planning to become a trader, this is probably the biggest news of 2026. It's right up there with the Iran war. Reason being, the person in charge of the Fed controls the interest rates in the United States. The US dollar is the global currency, so that is huge. This person has so much control over what can happen in terms of monetary policy within the United States, which then has a knock-on effect which affects every other currency in the world. So this is something which is mega important. I'm going to dive into some of the details of how this is going to affect the markets and how the transition going from Jerome Powell into Kevin Warsh is going to be something that you can benefit from as a trader. So one of the most important things about Warsh coming into power over Jerome Powell is Jerome Powell very much stood on his own, right? He kind of had his own mind and did what he thought was right for the country. Now, with Warsh stepping in, he was nominated by Trump. So Trump put him forward to become the chair of the Fed. Now, obviously, Trump is in a position where he's trying to make America great again, right? I'm sure you've seen it. If you've not, then look at his hat that he wears, making America great again. This is what Trump stands by and has stood by his whole term and his previous term. This is just what Trump is all about. He's looking to make America great again. Now, if you don't understand what that means, what he wants to do is turn America back to what it used to be. It used to be the manufacturing capital of the world. They were bringing so much money in from exporting goods outside of the country. And the best way for them to be able to do that is to reduce the value of the dollar, right? Because that allows people from foreign countries to then come over to the States, buy things from the States for cheaper because of the foreign exchange rate, and then take it back to their country and generate a larger profit. Exactly what the Japanese do. This is why the Japanese yen is so weak, because they heavily rely on exports. If they didn't heavily rely on exports, they would have a much stronger currency. But they want a weak currency so that it's cheaper for people to come there, buy their goods, and then take them back to their country. So having Jerome Powell in place, who was nominated by Trump, this means he's probably not going to stand on his own quite as much as Jerome Powell. Now, obviously, he's got his duties to the country as he's been sworn in, so he can't just completely go off everything that Trump wants him to do, but he's very much going to be led by that. So, bless him, Kevin Warsh, he's walking into a bit of a crazy situation because we've got the inflation sitting at 3.8. To bring inflation down, he needs to hike rates. But he's going to have Trump in his ear telling him that he needs to cut rates in order to make America great again. Inflation has spiked heavily, and this is mainly due to the war, right? This is kind of out of everyone's control. So what a lot of the central banks are doing at the moment is trying to tunnel vision and look through the war and almost pretend that the inflation that's come from the war isn't there, because what they're going to end up doing is hiking rates into this war, and then the war's going to be over at some point, and then there's going to be a really dramatic turn. So they're trying to avoid having to deal with that situation and having to do two sets of hikes and two sets of cuts, because that can get quite messy and it's just a load of turbulence that the everyday consumer really doesn't need. So at this current point in time, we've got pretty much a 0 chance of there being rate cuts this year. And there is a 30% chance of them hiking rates this year. So Warsh is stepping into this, and he has publicly said that he's not going to be led by Trump. But of course, he can't say on an interview that, oh yeah, I've come in, I've been nominated by Trump, and I'm going to be totally led by what he says, because he just, he'd go to prison for it, right? So Of course, he's going to say that on the news, on podcasts, whatever it is. He can't physically say anything else. He has to be independent, right? But that is not to say that that's going to be the case. So it's going to be very interesting, and it will all become very clear over the coming months and the coming couple of years, whether he is really stood on his own or whether Trump is really down his ear hole. Because realistically, 2026, start of 2027, unless we get some sort of cool off with this war, then he's certainly going to have to be hiking rates. And if he doesn't, if he holds, that's kind of fair enough. But if he starts cutting in this current scenario, then that is certainly driven by Trump whispering in his ear, you need to cut rates, mate. So something to look out for. It's not going to have a dramatic impact straight away. I think we already had that initial effect when it came out that Warsh was stepping in. We saw that the US dollar dropped off in its value. So that is already priced into the markets, right? So the markets try and predict things into the future, and that's exactly what they did when Warsh got nominated and then got selected and sworn in as the new chair. So the majority of that has been priced in. However, it's going to all come down to the speeches that he does and what his language is like. Is he using hawkish tones? Is he using dovish tones? Or has he got a hawkish stance? Those sorts of language are really what moves the markets. And it can just take one phrase for the markets to completely change. So that is exactly what we need to be looking out for. You don't want to miss any of his speeches. That is the worst thing that you can do, because you're going to miss out on huge trading opportunities. So Warsh's first speech is on the 16th of June. So this is one which every single trader must be watching. Even if you're not a trader, I really encourage you to go and watch it and see if you can pick any hints of the hawkish or the dovish tone. And what I mean by hawkish and dovish, so hawkish is hiking interest rates, right? Hawks fly high, high interest rates. That's where the term comes from. And then you've got doves, which are very loving, very caring. So that means that they want to cut interest rates. Being loving and caring is what the consumer wants, right? We want to have low interest rates, and that really helps the everyday consumer. So that's where those two terms come from. And see if you can notice in the way that he's speaking and his language, whether you think it's indicating towards hikes, holds, or cuts. That is going to be the thing that every single trader on this planet is going to be watching for on the 16th of June. So we've got 3 weeks from the time of filming this until that first meeting. We've got Jerome Powell speaking, I think it's Tuesday of next week. So that will be another one to look out for, because that will be his last speech. So there is a lot of events coming up around this Kevin Warsh, Jerome Powell situation, which you really need to keep laser focused on and just try and make something from it, right? Even if you're trading on a demo account or on a small live account, just have a play around and see if you can trade based off of the speeches. This requires zero technical analysis. Zero. As long as there's a hawkish or a dovish tone or a piece of sentiment which comes out, or he says something which indicates that it's going to be hawkish, say, we're looking to hike rates in the coming months, boom, you buy the US dollar, right? If he says, we're not cutting yet, but we are looking to cut, boom, you sell the US dollar. If he says, we're going to be on hold and we're going to look at what the data tells us, then that's very neutral and you want to sit still and you don't want to be trading it. So those are the three main phrases that you're going to want to be looking for. And that will really give you a good indication of which direction you want to be trading in that week. A great place to look at the interest rates, whether it's going to be a hike, hold, or a cut, is actually looking at Polymarket. Polymarket is essentially a gambling website where people can bet on different predictions. Now, I don't believe in gambling, I don't believe in betting, I certainly wouldn't put my money into Polymarket, but what I will do is just take a look at it to see where the majority of people are putting their money. If most people are putting their money towards there being a hike, then that's a good indication that there's probably going to be a hike. There's a lot of insider trading which happens with inside of Polymarket. So if there's a hell of a lot of positions going for a hike, it's probably going to come out as a hike. I find that to be the most realistic and probabilistic way of trading rate hike decisions and rate cut decisions, because it's where the real money is positioned. People are betting on where they think this is going to go, and the majority vote is usually correct. It's not always going to be, and that's where you see the massive moves where you really get chopped up, and well, not even chopped up, it just gaps through your stop loss. But that gives you a good way to be able to position yourself before the news actually comes out, before the rate decision comes out. Because realistically, once it's already come out, the time you've got into the trade, the slippage is crazy. Like, it doesn't give you any good opportunity to get in. So that is really where you want to be positioning yourself, a couple of days ahead of it, or a couple of weeks ahead of it, depending on the length of trader that you are. And then that's going to allow you to capitalize on that position the best that you can. This new Fed chair is genuinely one of the biggest events of the year. Now, if you want to understand it in much more detail, then please go to the link in the description and join my free trading academy on School, and I will be going through this live on a weekly basis to keep you up to date with exactly how this is going to determine where the markets go over the coming weeks and the coming months. Now, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and comment of what you want the next video to be.